For years, I had been wanting to update our garage. It was too small, the roof leaked like a sieve, the concrete floor had huge cracks that were starting to shift. I wanted a nice modern two-car garage with plenty of storage space. The problem was the garage was attached to the porch, and I didn't see how I could replace one without replacing the other. Of course, the porch was quite problematic as well. It wasn't built on footers, so when winter came, the door wouldn't shut for a couple of months, usually starting in January. Over the years, with the porch traveling up and down with the seasons, the windows developed gaps which allowed rain and snow to come through. So, I decided, if we can't replace one without the other, why not replace both the garage and the porch? Having made the decision to go forward with the new garage and porch, I was presented with the next problem. That problem was that I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew was that it would cost a lot of money. So my wife and I put aside money for years in anticipation of the big project. When spring would roll around, I'd usually find a way to justify waiting another year. We need more money, I'd say to myself, without really having a clue how much it would cost. It was a total procrastination move. Putting it off was easier than moving forward. But in 2021, we were tired of putting it off and decided to go for it. Originally, I was thinking really big. We'd have a big finished garage and we used the upstairs for a gym and a band room. When we got older, we could make it into an apartment for a source of income. Then reality set in. Even though I didn't know how much it would cost for a finished two-story garage, I knew that having to heat, cool, and run water to it would be an additional year-round expense. So, with my wife helping to provide a reality check, we acquiesced and decided to downscale the project. Of course, there was still that lingering problem. I didn't have a clue on how to get started. I decided to search the weekly newspaper and internet to contact some building contractors. Initially, I contacted 4. One outfit turned me down with an email message. I appreciated that, because around here it seems almost impossible for anyone in the trades to say no. What they usually do is act like they are interested and then cut off all contact, which is what the other 3 contractors did. Fortunately for us, we have a neighbor who has been in the excavation business for decades. He is a very busy man, but without his guidance, the whole project would have never gotten off the ground. Jerry took on the excavation work, suggested a concrete outfit to pour the foundation, found an available and reputable carpenter to build the garage, and hooked us up with an electrician. So, if you are looking to get a big project done, I suggest these 3 things. Number 1, find somebody who knows what they are doing. Perhaps this person is you. As for me, I couldn't build a birdhouse unless it came in a kit with explicit instructions, so our person was Jerry. Number 2, have plenty of money before you start. We probably should have done our project a couple of years ago before COVID-19. The price of building materials have gone up significantly, and while they may be heading down some, they aren't likely to go back to pre-COVID prices. Also know that tradespeople are super busy and hard to find. You are competing with everyone else who wants something built, and if their project is a bigger, more expensive one, it will be hard for the builders to say no to more money. Number 3, time and patience. While these 2 items aren't exactly the same, they are closely related. If you want a new garage, don't expect it to be done in a week. Groundbreaking on our project began on September 7th, 2021 and finished on June 15th, 2022. I can't emphasize how important Jerry was to our project. He's been in the excavation business for so long he knows all the players when it comes to getting something built. He also knows the language of the various trades and was able to translate for me. I really felt like a fish out of water so many times. The concrete guys would say something like, well, what kind of foundation you looking for? You want a slab or frost walls? Or the carpenter would ask, what kind of roof do you want? You want a 10-12 pitch? Do you want storage trusses? I felt like an idiot because these guys were acting like I should know what they were talking about, but Jerry helped me all through the process. Jerry is a maestro with that backhoe. He is the definition of a hard worker. I could not believe how much he could do with the backhoe, with all of his equipment. He just an amazing amount of work. Watch as he knocks over these two big trees here. I didn't know how I was going to get all of these woods cleared before the project started. But Jerry said, "Oh, I can take care of all that." And I mean, it was just that easy. Super great guy to work with. These blocks of concrete are remnants from an old workshop that was torn down years ago, and the woods just grew up around it. Here we see Jerry sawing off some, those are poles to an old clothesline, and he's sawing off the pole right where it meets the concrete. I'm telling you, the guy was just a one-man wrecking crew, and here with his backhoe, he's taking those big blocks of concrete, and I mean, they're, it'd be impossible for three guys to lift one of those things, and he lifts it with the backhoe like it's a toy. It's just amazing what what he can do with that machine. Before ground broke on the project, it occurred to us that we were going to need somewhere to store all the stuff that was in the garage and on the porch. And Sonny had been talking about wanting a she shed for a while, so we went to Wolcott. They have a place there where Mennonites build custom sheds, so we had a custom shed built. And we used it to store all the stuff that was in the garage and on the porch while the garage and new porch were being built. The salesperson at Town & Country Sheds in Wolcott gave us some very specific instructions for, clearing a spot and putting down a pad for the shed. And of course, we just relayed those to Jerry, and Jerry took care of it. At the end of this video, I'll total up the costs for everything we had done. So if that's what you're interested in, go ahead and skip to the end of the video. Unfortunately, I can't separate out just the garage because the carpenter gave me a quote for the garage and the porch. The shed's dimensions are 10 by 14, and in case you're wondering what it costs, I will tell you it was not inexpensive. It cost $6,463.67. That's total. That includes a ramp, it includes the taxes, and it also included a $988.80 surcharge because of increased lumber prices. Yes, because we bought it during COVID when the supply chains were slow, and so everything cost more during COVID. But hey, it's a nice shed, and also included, we were in the free delivery area. We live in Morristown, and we bought it from the next town to the east, Wolcott. And so we were in the free delivery area. This guy brought it over with his trailer and put it exactly where it needed to be placed on the pad. And I've speeded it up here, but it really was a pretty quick operation. I'd say he was probably at our house for 20 minutes to a half hour at the most. I mean, it went pretty fast. With the shed in place, it was now time to move on to the next phase of the project, and that was demolition. So Jerry ordered some roll-offs, or well, started with one roll-off, and that was just to throw all the debris from the garage and the porch into. And so yeah, that's what you're going to see happen here next. Here's where we are on October 1st, 2021. Got that dumpster put in. Jerry's going to tear down the garage. We already took out the door and gave it to somebody, some guy named Nate. So everything here is completely empty. Of course, there's our new shed that we love so much. Jerry's backhoe. A really big dumpster. Most of this garage is going to end up in that dumpster. And there's Sonia's prize magnolia tree. We're going to try to save that, fingers crossed, but we are going to try to save it and relocate it. See, you can see we have some stuff in the yard here. It's lying around. Some of it's going to go to metal recycling, some of it's going to go in that big dumpster. There's the old shed. Completely empty now. There is some sentimentalness going on here. I'm going to be saying goodbye to this old garage. I've been living here for over 23 years now. I'm going to be saying goodbye to that porch, but a new one's going to be built, a newer and better one. There goes the garage. No. Alright, it's Sunday, October 3rd. What needs to happen next is that dumpster with the contents of our garage in it needs to get emptied. We need to get another empty one, get the rest of the garage put in it. Need to get the concrete tore up and have that removed. We need to get the porch removed. That porch is going to be replaced. And then we're going to mark out the spot for the new garage and get the concrete poured. And then after that, the new garage will be built. So it looks like one dumpster isn't going to do it. So after Jerry filled one up, they came to take it away. So they took that one away, and then they came and they dropped off another one. I always wondered why there were so many bees on the old porch. Now I know why. What Jerry's trying to figure out now is how to get this porch removed without damaging the house. Without damaging the house in the process. So he's doing it a little bit at a time. Jerry made quick work of the old garage floor with his heavy equipment. It was just a single concrete slab, no frost walls, and then he just put it away. Like I said, just like picking up concrete like it's toys. Really fun to watch. One of my few opportunities to participate was in the siding of the garage. Jerry gave me some stakes, and I kind of staked out roughly where I wanted it. Of course, I got his input, and yeah, that's about all I did other than take pictures. He did the rest of the work. On this particular day, Jerry had his son Matt helping him out, and that's Matt operating the backhoe. After we laid out where the garage was going to go, it occurred to me that we weren't going to have to move the magnolia tree after all. Sonia was delighted. When you get your property dug up, there's no telling what they're going to find. So that's where the garage is going to be. They dug this thing out. Looks plastic. Here's an old wash tub filled with concrete. Most surprising is all this concrete over here. Who knew? Must have been another structure there at one time. The next phase of the project was getting the foundation poured, and here you see the guys setting up the forms. We used Haskins and Associates out of Waterbury for this part of the job. inside the frost wall. There was a miscommunication on the size of the entry doors, so once again, Jerry to the rescue.
much the estimated damage was. The house we were at last night was estimated in 2014 for like 525.
After the concrete guys were all done with their work, we had some gravel brought in for the driveway. Here you see Matt compacting it and leveling it out. The next part of the project involved burying the piers for the new front porch. I knew we were really going to appreciate being able to close the porch door all winter. And then on November 30th, without any warning at all, the roof storage trusses showed up. I didn't mind. I just didn't have any forewarning, and then it was kind of a trick to figure out how we were going to get them on the property. But as you can see, the truck driver figured it out. He was a nice guy, a French-Canadian guy. Okay, this time I was expecting it. It was now December 29th, and we received a load of lumber, and we started getting very excited because we knew that soon the garage was going to start being built. Meet James Bradley. He and his father Kevin were actually the two that built the garage. And as you can see, in the winter, there can be some more steps to the process that kind of slow things down. But anyway, this was their first day on the job site. At this point, I was really excited watching the progress. Framing always happens fast, but it's just so visual. You can actually see that something's happening. So, yeah, I was a very happy guy. I want to say right up front, these two guys were great. I mean, they answered all my questions. They always did what they said they were going to do. They didn't start a job and disappear for 3 weeks. I mean, I knew when they were coming, and the communication was great. And occasionally, there was 3 generations of Bradleys. Kevin, that's Kevin right there with the nail gun. His father, who's in his mid 80s, actually came out to the work site and helped them for a couple days.
Alright, you get whatever you want for the base. And then what are you going to do? Hold them both ways. Put it alongside. Yeah. I mean, pretty much standing on their own anyway, but.
If you are thinking about building a garage, I recommend you put a lot of thought into what you actually want before you contact a contractor. In our case, we went big. I wanted the garage to be a functional space that goes beyond a place to store cars. Of course, the more add-ons you have, the more expensive it will be. We have a second floor for storage, 5 windows, and 2 entry doors, one of which is a double door. If you just want a place to store a car to, you can certainly do it much cheaper than we did. You can skip the windows, the second floor, and you can go with smaller dimensions. As I mentioned, ours is 24 by 30 feet. A lot of people build 2-car garages that are 24 by 24 feet. Another place you can save is by building the garage on a slab instead of using frost walls. There's a guy in Lyndonville who has built hundreds of garages on what he calls Alaskan floating slabs. He says he's never had a problem. You can see his work at kenscarpentry.com. He spells carpentry with a K. You also need to decide whether or not you want the interior finished. We don't plan on spending a lot of time in the garage in the winter, so we decided to go with an unfinished interior. You guys are working too fast. I had no idea the plywood was going up and...
Yeah, we like to just go. We get in the groove. Where you headed with that? Whichever corner you want. Start down that long wall on that side if you want. I'll have to get it up once we can. Pretty cool center. You got that one? For some reason. I'll need that.
I have a lot of respect for people who work in the trades. I know it's mostly math and science, but it seems like magic to me. It must be very satisfying to drive through town and point to all the structures you helped build. These are the kind of guys who get up long before the sun rises and work outdoors under all conditions. I suspect most of them fall asleep before their heads hit the pillow. These people are valuable, and we need more of them. More work, more progress today, January 5th. Let's go and take a look, shall we? The stairs are going to be over here. You see the storage trusses. There's a window and a door. 2 windows and a door. Snowfall. Now, stairs have been built. This is my first walk up the new stairs in the new garage. Wow. On February 1st, the roofing shingles were delivered, and if you look closely, you'll see this guy's got short pants on. It was just below 0 that day, and some people just don't ever want to wear long pants. Things have a way of slowing down in the winter. They shingled the north side of the roof on February 2nd, and then they came back on February 7th to shingle the south side of the roof, and as you can see, they had to clear some snow before they could get to work. After the roof was shingled on February 7th, there was a long wait for building materials. The guys told me up front that I'd have to wait, and it was totally expected, but I didn't see them again until March 31st. Greta. Hey. One of the big holdups was waiting for the vinyl siding to arrive. But it finally arrived, and on March 31st, the guys showed up and started to install it. Of course, there'd be an even longer wait for the garage doors to arrive. On April 4th, Kevin and James were all done with the garage. I mean, there was still stuff that had to be done. We had to wait for the doors to come in from Champlain Door. But Kevin and James' part of the project was done. Of course, now they had to turn their attention to building the new porch. April 5th, and today is the first day they started the porch. I'm inside the new porch here. There'll be a window there, a window here, doorway, and a window there. And yeah, eventually there'll be a roof. Right now we have a sunroof.
That's not equal, right?
It was now April 12th, and we were in another waiting period. The porch was essentially done except for the siding, and the garage was essentially done except for the garage doors and the electricity. On April 25th, a guy from Champlain Door Systems showed up and installed both garage doors and 2 automatic garage door openers. The total cost for this was $3,885. After the garage doors were installed, there was another long wait for the vinyl siding for the porch, which is different from the vinyl siding on the garage. But it finally arrived, and on June 14th, Kevin and James got to work installing it. In the meantime, Keith Locke Electric came out and wired the garage, the porch, and the she shed. Looking to the future, I told Keith we needed the garage to be wired so that it was capable of charging an electric car. If you build a new garage, this is certainly something you want to think about ahead of time. At this point, I wanted to consider the project finished, but then I thought it'd be nice to have roof gutters for the garage and the she shed. Okay, except for a little bit of excavation work that needs to be done, I'm calling this project finished. You've seen the project and now you're seeing the costs. Hope you liked this presentation, and thanks for watching.